Okay, so you can look at my little Christmas tree. I think it's better than staring in the dark. So, story time. One of my managers that I had, I actually kind of liked her, but something was definitely wrong because now Chris's governor is on there saying how there's some kind of big program. You know, they got money for all these programs, but they can't even house the homeless. All right, and even if they do make affordable housing, it's still not going to be affordable. So anyways, he's on there talking about how like some program for recovering addicts, integrating them into the workforce and make it work. I guess I don't even know. I didn't read it, but there's a problem with that. It's not fun to work with people that have mental illnesses and psychological illnesses or drug problems or it's not fun working with those people. Let me tell you, I know. So anyways, this girl, I kind of liked her, but you could tell, when you look at somebody's face and you could tell they did hard drugs. I don't know how to explain that. But you can tell some people's faces. You can tell like they had a hard life or they had like a hard drug problem. Okay, so she was really, really freaking hyper. So I don't know if she was still doing drugs or she was, whatever they had her to get off the drugs is they put her on something else because that happens too. But man, she was so hyper. She was all over the place, crazy. Okay. And, she was really good at her job, I guess, but she was like, oh my God, talk about multitask. Well, I guess if you're on speed or if you're on some kind of antidepressant or something and it makes you speed around, I guess it's a good thing for the company because you get a lot of shit done, I guess. But one morning or one day, a couple times, like her whole side of her face was bleeding. The whole side of her face was bleeding. And I was like, oh my God. So I kind of liked her. So I just was like trying to be nice to her and everything. And I don't know. I was like, whoa, what the hell is that? And she tried to cover it up with makeup, but it was really bad. And one of the housekeepers noticed it, and she would disappear in the bathroom for a wicked long time. So I don't know if she was still doing drugs, but they'd be like, where the hell did she go? I'm like, I don't know. She's been in the bathroom for a while. Go knock on the door, whatever. And then the other head manager that was above her would come in and like talk to her with like pity in her eyes. You know what I mean? Like this real pity look. So I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, it was weird. So I'm trying to think of any other things. That was one of the places I worked. But so it's not easy to work with people that are recovering from that or with psychological issues. Not easy, believe me. I've dealt with a lot. So now I know why I decided to get out of the workforce a long time ago because, well, being a hairdresser back then, maybe it's nice now, or if you can be lucky to get into a nice place like my daughter, but it was really backstabbing. It's a lot of backstabbing. I can't deal with it. So, that was her. But you know what happened? It was weird. So, after they made me homeless, I went back to my paradise place, and I was sitting there. I had my heater on, and I was crying. And all of a sudden, I see this car pull up, like wicked close to my car. And I was like, nobody ever comes up there. So I thought it was the cops. I was like, oh no. Oh, no, sir, I don't want your services. If you really cared, I would like your services, but for the most part, you don't care. So that's what I was going to say to him. But anyway, so it was her. And all of a sudden, I hear this little voice like, Luann. And I'm like, oh my God. So that night, I was like, oh, I should just end it out here. Really, I seriously thought that. I was like thinking about ending it. And I was like, well, how can I do it fast? Can I do it propane? I don't know. It was bad. So And she's like, gave me a little pep talk, I guess, and then she offered if I wanted to come and stay at her house, and so she was nice, but yeah, so yeah, it's hard. I don't know what Chris thinks that how's that's gonna work. I think it's I don't know, but I'm trying to still have hope for this world, but I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I don't want to work for anybody anymore because I'm done with abuse. And my daughter's like, we're having a discussion, and I was like tonight, I was like, oh well, I applied at a flower shop because I was like, oh, flowers will make me happy, and you know, how can you? Probably not too many mental illness people that do flowers. So, so I applied there, but they never responded. And then, so then I was thinking, oh well, I was thinking of being a dog walker, but then that's too much on my body. Then I was like, well, I miss children, so I was like, maybe I should be a babysitter. And she was like, she's always negative towards me. Like she was always like obstinate. Like no matter what you say, it's obstinate. Not all the time, but a lot of times with me, because I'm her mom, she's just always obstinate. So, and she's like, I'm like, kids make me happy. So I would like, babysitting's easy. For the most part, you just play with them, and feed them food, and then, they go to bed. And then you could just watch TV and relax. So it would be an easy job. And I really enjoy children. And she says, I don't like that idea. She goes, you're gonna bring germs into my house because kids always have germs, and which is true because I'll tell you, when the kids went to school in the public school, the kids were always coming back home with some illness. It was bad. So, yeah. So I'm just thinking, she's like, well, I would do any job, and you know that she said the exact same thing as that Stanley said and Ed. Like they all say the same thing. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'd work at McDonald's until I got a good job. Yeah, I would just work at McDonald's. And then Stanley's like, why don't you just work at McDonald's? And it's just a way of like, what do you call it? Devaluing you. That's what it is. It's like you have every right to choose a career or choose something that you love to do. Okay? I'm not going to go work at some stupid place, just to get by. I'd rather be poor and go live in a freaking ditch, okay? Really, I would. So anyhow, it's hard, man. I want the Lord to take me out of here. I don't care anymore. I asked my children about Thanksgiving. They can't even answer me. So, well, Holly did, but I can't even get an answer. Like, I can't. Why is it so hard to get your family together? Like, what's the deal? Okay, good night.